Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's series. I have Emelie Rose with me. My name is Tish, and this is Grounding into Simplicity, a YouTube series about wisdom talks for a global awakening. And I am so thrilled. Like, Emelie and I have been friends and sisters and colleagues for the last 5 years, working at an incredible festival called Envision. And throughout our time as sisters and friends, we've both just gone very deep into our own personal work. And today I've invited her to share a little bit about her landscape of where she is and what she's doing in her life. And I will definitely put all of her bio and all of her information on the chats and below. So if you wanted to dive in a little bit deeper in connecting with Emelie. But I think, Em, if you could just share with us a little bit where you are and kind of like what your environment looks like right now. And then let's just dive straight into like, what does it take for you to feel grounded in this moment? And if you can share some of these tools with us.
Sure, great. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It feels really good to just connect as sisters and friends and then as colleagues in this way, sharing our experienced wisdom. I am currently in Lakewood, Colorado. I moved here about a month ago, originally from South Louisiana. Have been I'd say nomad for quite a while, almost 4 years, and then met my life partner, my dude, a year ago, almost exactly. And now we're here in our new home that we signed all the papers when we were actually in Costa Rica. And so, my internal and external environment is these landscapes are very similar right now. It's, we came into a house pretty bare bones, and we've done a lot of renovation and a lot of things that building our home in a way that expresses us uniquely. And it's so interesting, macro, micro, right? It's exactly what's happening globally right now. So internally, there's been a lot of renovation. There's been a lot of deciding what is an actual expression of authenticity with my voice and my heart. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, and I want to know, like, I know that you have started to offer some yoga classes online for a nonprofit. Share with us a little bit about that.
Cool. Yeah. So just doing it pretty simply, pun intended, on Zoom and just kind of speaking about it on Instagram. But basically, I am teaching classes from 30 minutes to an hour, and people can donate to me for the service. And then I donate to this nonprofit called Feed the Frontlines, NOLA.org. New Orleans is a city that is really rooted in entertainment and art and food, music, and it won't survive without it. It just won't, it's in its bones. And so this nonprofit is putting artists and musicians specifically back to work by training them to deliver food safely to hospitals all around the New Orleans and greater New Orleans area. So really just loving people up that are risking their lives in hospitals to care for those infected with COVID-19 with some good New Orleans food. I mean, that's what we're about. That's how we share love. That's how we share our celebration. And so I wanted to work with them because it spoke to my heart, spoke to my roots, my home.
I love
Really
that.
fun. It's been really fun connecting with people globally. It's like, you just put the Zoom link out there, you don't really know who's going to show up. And then I come back out of Shavasana and I'm like, you're in Bali and you're in South Africa and it's like, oh my gosh, hi, friends, global family. So it's been such a constant reminder of like, we are connected. Some of these people, even if I could have spoken to them or seen them, I wasn't. So it's interesting how this time has really, like, we've really gotten close to how connected we are always, no matter if we're doing this or if we're just doing this,
Exactly. No, I can totally agree with you there. It's been really interesting too, like reaching out to friends and family even more so, because for me, I was always on the go, go, go. So it wasn't really any time to like do that connection. And now I have all this spaciousness to connect with family and friends from all around the world. And really pulling in the tribe and the family that means so much to you and making time for them right now has been such a gem and such a pearl in my existence right now. But with all these Zoom calls going on and all the Facebook lives and all the things, like what I found was it was so overstimulating for me that I kind of just wanted to push away. And I had to really be in nature and ground into what I wanted. And I did that. I did my little fast time and did my little fast from social media. And then I came back and I sat down and I really prioritized to say, like, who do I want to practice with? And what are these days that these people are going to have offerings? And then I kind of scheduled it out into a way that I can tune into these incredible teachers and leaders that's in my field that I wanted to receive from at this time. Now, that's one of the things that I've done to help me ground. Can you share with us maybe some tools that you embody and teach and live by to support you in feeling grounded in these times of change?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. The first one that comes to mind is play. It's how I, is when all of this started to really solidify and I finally understood what was happening. It was like, how we are with all of our practices. It's like, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and then this and this, and I'm going to journal about this. And then I'm going to start my day and I'm going to go online. And I did that that kind of was like, it tricked me for about 4 days. I'm like, well, this is bullshit. Like, this sort of rigidity is complicating things. And so, how I stay grounded now is by learning from myself 3 weeks ago and allowing some things to be scheduled, like this call, for instance, for structure around my day, some sort of like overarching thing to like feel like there is a linear time flow because we live in that world. But I play in the morning. I wake up, I open the door, as you saw, my dog was playing at the beginning of this call. He's probably become a little too spoiled because of how much we play. But that's how I start my day, just opening the front door, throwing his favorite toy at the time into the yard, and then kind of letting him decide how we do it,
Yeah.
and then if I'm thirsty, it's really, what I'm saying is that being super honest with myself in the present moment, not trying to force these things that we know support stability and grounding, but rather like just the radical acceptance of what is my sphere and what I feel. And then, not forcing the seated meditation, because sometimes that can feel like a prison, and recognizing like I should probably just go run around in the yard with my dog for a bit and like not check Instagram, which is a really interesting dance when you're offering things online, because then you feel this weird kind of push pull of needing to show up online so that way people can be a part of your offerings. And then it's like, oh, okay, wait, the spinning sort of starts to happen. And so the grounding for me has been in flux. It ebbs and it flows. And we also are building a greenhouse, and a lot of our plant babies are germinating and sprouting. And so I have had my hands in the dirt, regenerating, like growing our own food. But it's like, that question is, it changes. It changes all the time. And really accepting the ebb and flow, being kind to myself through it all, and recognizing that what I need in each moment is changing so quickly because of how much we're growing and evolving. And so radical honesty, acceptance, when in doubt, play.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, and I remember seeing, you posting your jokes in the morning or during the daytime on Instagram. And that was so fun too. I think in times like crises, like times like these, we can get so fucking serious. And it's really nice to like just get into like, it always lit me up when I saw your little jokes, and I kind of never really got them because I'm just like, what the fuck is she saying, But it made me
What
smile.
word is that?
No, it's definitely there. And I really appreciate that of you. And just, Yeah, I'm also curious to know, like we were talking a little bit earlier about how active your dream state has been and what that looks like. And I think for many people, myself included, my dream state is, it almost has like it's always been like, it's been dormant, but it's like starting to wake up. And so I'm curious to know, like, if you wanted to share anything about your dream state practice and what that looks like and how we can invite that more into our lives. Just for the people out there that it might be very new, because I feel like a lot of the messages that we are receiving is through dream state now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. This is like what my shanti moments. I like to keep things shanti and ratchet. I'm gonna actually put one of my protector feathers. This is an eagle feather. I'm gonna put it in my hair so I speak clearly and with integrity, because this is a new space for me. I won't lie to you. It's like it is something I'm still integrating. Okay. It's funny all the ways that you feel silly when you integrate the tools that you know work for you, and it's like, is this too woo woo? I'm like, well, fuck it. If it works, it works. Okay, so I do have to say I've always been really imaginative, even as a kid. Everything, the dream world and imagination, and what I now know is visualization equals manifestation. I wasn't aware, but it's always been pretty present for me. But I completed the moon course Las Palmeras del Ca in San Marcos on Lake Atilan. So that's where I really got my first download. But it wasn't grounded enough to integrate the practices truly. So a tool that I know works really well is to single point concentration, like single point gaze on a flame before bed. That can really just help kind of train the mind. However, I do have to say that lately it hasn't been my choice. I haven't been intentionally going to sleep being like, all right, guys, like, what you got for me? It's been, the new moon in Pisces into the full moon in Libra, like I was saying, was just so much. There was so much information, and I was praying. Prayer. Let me rephrase that. Prayer is the one practice out of all of it that I've been anchored in, because it helps. It helps. And through those prayers, the beings that have, how it is. Everyone who you're working with, whether consciously or subconsciously, all of them showed up, and it's just like, here, we've been waiting for you to ask. And so I haven't been doing a lot of specific practices other than just being honest and really listening to my intuition. That's been a big tool. My intuition, I get the butterflies in my belly and kind of a little sweaty palms. That's like those are my two for sure hits. And then the one where it's like transmission received, and then there's like the body integration, that's the chills. And so that was happening really present. But basically, none of the full moon, I have a dream where it's really hot. It's in Colorado, and I know this just because it's an environment I've been in before, surrounded by community, and we're celebrating, and it's beautiful to be in each other's company. And in the moment, in the vision, in the dream, I was thinking to myself, like, I could feel that something was off. There's no way to articulate it. You can just feel it, that there was something really bigger at work. And then spirit kind of like this like suction, and then like placed me somewhere else. And this has happened to me 2 times before, sound effects and all. It's very like, okay, like it kind of gives me the joke of like portal hopping, but shit you not. And so I can tell that it is September, and it's in Costa Rica, and there is almost this grieving, but this acceptance of that things have gotten much worse because the virus came back, and that now there is this absolute demand, call to action to we can't hide anymore, just in terms of like this way of sustainable life, and a way that is regenerative and is a reciprocated relationship with each other, with the planet. It's like, that's it. that's it. There's this like the duality has now gotten so far that there is this like, again, I don't know how to explain it other than hand motions, but this has happened so much that now we're here and we have this incredible responsibility on us. And you know, I say that so grateful for everything I've learned and integrated so far, yet it's fucking humble as shit, just sitting here trusting and accepting that spirit's going to work with us in whatever way we're here to do, and this is what we came for. You know, this is why we're here.
Well, thank you for sharing that. You know, that's very sacred and special to your heart. And I just want to honor and acknowledge for you for speaking up in this way, and just inviting, you know, the people that may be watching to this to, you know, if you want to activate your dream state, I know that, you know, you could potentially call upon your guides before you go to bed and say, you know, if there's any messages that I'm ready to receive, to open up that space for them to come in. You can gaze into the flame. You can drink certain teas, you know, like I'm working with Blue Lotus right now as a little tincture just to help my dream state activate. So, you know, specifically during this time, I feel like it's super important for us as people that really wants to live from a heart-centered space to call in our support, and our support can come through our dreams. And so I really just want to acknowledge and honor for you sharing this, and also invite those that's listening to take this tool and make something, if they wanted to tap in a little bit deeper. So, and tell me a little bit, you know, like playfulness for sure, but what about simplicity? Like if we're living simple these days, because now, you know, we can't like go to the hairdresser and get our hair nice and fancy, and we can't go out and buy all our nice things, you know, they would like to wear. So what is this living in simplicity feel like and look like for you during these days?
Yeah, totally. Also, I feel like I lied earlier when I said I haven't been doing much. You know how much I practice different divination, cards, so many things. Just not in a. I wanted to just kind of like refrain what I said. I opened myself up and asked for it, giving the connotation of like, it's just a miracle that's been bestowed upon me to be active in the dream state. It's like, it's not like that either. I just want to put that out there for people who do watch this. It's like it is a culmination of many different practices that have just kind of stuck around that's led to that. Simplicity, you know, I kind of want to touch on the way that simplicity is viewed in society. In Shakespearean times, the word clown was defined as an impoverished simpleton. That was like that's actually what a clown is. And so clown is actually a derogatory term for someone who is living in poverty and is a simpleton, chances are because they were uneducated. And, you know, I've been working a lot with, I remember how to play. It's this methodology I am developing by working with certain archetypes like the jester, the clown, reclaiming the word clown, and, you know, the Heyoka and the indigenous Americas. And so they take the form of a simpleton on purpose. They're dressed very raggedly. It's nothing of a lot of show. And I also recently learned that the triangles and the certain things on the face mean certain things. It means what story it is they're trying to portray. And they tell the story simply without words because it is the most effective. And so simplicity is like, I've gone down a rabbit hole of it lately. And when you asked me to speak about this, I was like, yes, because it has been something that I have just been really spiraling in and out of, like, what is it to be simple, you know, being radically honest and present for sure. But even down to like, what is the most simple way of saying something, you know, but without, you know, poetic rhyme and reason. Sometimes what it is that we're trying to say gets lost in the rhythm of it. And so again, play, but even like I was saying, like playing with my dog a lot. But then when I'm ready, when I'm feeling really tapped in and I am ready to kind of create with energy, if that makes it, with energy without words. Simply, it's been just like very quiet, you know, really turning down the stimulation. I'm not putting on a bitchin' playlist, and I'm not, you know, I'm not stimulated through smell because I'm not burning incense. I'm like just the elements are present in me, and simply allowing for these sort of like the energy of the simpleton, I guess you could say, to come through. And so that may have been like an answer that you weren't expecting to get, but that's the simplicity. It's been like reclaiming simpletons of the world. And, you know, to be fair, it might be a little bit hypocritical for me to feel called to want to reclaim that and work with those energies, because I did grow up very privileged and still currently am. But it's something that right now I think is coming through. Like, for instance, I grew up in South Louisiana. There are people there who, you know, are uneducated, and their clothes are, you know, ragged, and they're, you know, they smell like they've been shrimping all day. But these people can literally tell you anything about the tide, anything about the cycle of the moon. They live in accordance with the moon. They live in accordance with the weather. They can feel it and they can predict it better than the meteorologists on the news. And so, as I'm again revisiting this, like sort of this, the essence of simplicity, it's like living in accordance with the natural law.
Yeah.
Living in sync with the natural cycles of life.
Yeah.
And that's the story that I guess I'm starting to tell with my body when I get into like, okay, like I'm not doing yoga, I'm not doing HIIT exercise, I'm not doing core, like I am just purely moving and like letting this movement tell the story that is happening right now, which is traditionally, you know, what the Heyoka would do for, you know, tribe community, and what the jester did for the court, what the clown did during Shakespearean performances and plays. And so it's like, that's a very complicated answer for what simplicity is for me, but that's what it has been for me lately.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing from such an authentic space. You know, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, it's simple, and we're just kind of defining it from a dictionary. But when we really tune into what is it for us at an individual level, and how you expressed it is so beautifully. So thank you, because yeah, of course I didn't expect anything, but then again, I'm not expecting anything. You know, for me, having these conversations with these people and creating this series is about just everybody's unique expression about themselves, of what this means for us to be grounded into simplicity at changing times. And then from this space, people can start to resonate and say, but and ask the question, well, what does it really mean for me? And so for you coming to share from such a beautiful, authentic space really makes my heart open and expand. So thank you. So I want to come almost to a close, but I want to ask you one last thing,
Yeah.
or maybe two. What is the thing that you missed the most from your past life? And I AKA past life, like pre-COVID is what I'm saying. So what is the thing that you
Well, I was on this planet one time. No, I'm kidding. Dancing with my friends on sunrise dance floors, being sweaty and dirty and hugging and crying, with the experience of like, we did it. I miss celebrating with my chosen family.
Yes.
Okay. Like it's like it is, yeah, that's also very present in my dream space. I'll wake up and I'm like, yes.
Mm. And then lastly, you know, what do you feel most grateful for, you know, during this time and in the circumstances that we are? Because I feel like there's always something to be grateful for. And what is that for you?
Right now, in this moment, and again, that's one of those things that it ebbs and flows, and the gratitude inspires us in different ways. But right now, in this moment, I am most grateful for the brave and courageous women in my life who are inspiring others to speak up and share offerings. And even though the internet seems saturated with people teaching live and on Zoom, I think it's fucking awesome that so many people have found their voice through this hard time. And so I am grateful for brave and courageous women like yourself.
Well, we're grateful for you because look where you are, speaking up and sharing your voice, Em. And it's been a long time coming, Mama. So I'm very happy that. And you know, I was just thinking back. Remember, 2 years ago, I interviewed you for the Cyclical Wisdom,
Yes,
and
yes,
and
right.
how we've spiraled and danced through that and come to the other side of where we are now. So it's such an honor to always have you on these calls with me, and I'm just so grateful for you. And I want to also just give you an opportunity, you know, if you have any offerings coming up, do you want to talk to that, you know, or where people can find you? Obviously, I'll put all of your IG handles and everything on the chat, but did you want to invite anybody to come and play with you and work, you know, yoga with you?
Currently, I'm keeping it pretty simple, you know. I was pretty clear on this transmission of service of teaching 4 classes and having it all be donation based. And the last one that I teach is on Friday. It's in my personal Zoom room, and again, I'll post about it on Instagram. And so you have my handle. I'm sure that you'll attach it to this file. And I am excited to go back in. You know, next week is another a new moon, excuse me, and I, you know, ready for the next transmission. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I am working with how to offer play online, and if I'm even supposed to. Um, so yeah, stand by. But as for now, this coming Friday at 10 a.m.
Awesome. So I'll put your handle on there and people can follow you and play with you and dance with you and celebrate. You know, this is like celebration, what it's all about. It's heart-centered celebration without tribe. So I'm so, so grateful for your time. Thank you again. And I look forward to have you very soon again. So much love to
Oh,
you.
thank you, Tish. Yeah, you're just a great host, and thank you so much for facilitating all of these conversations and questions. Yeah, thank you for having